my channel. Yes, today is Wednesday, and we all know what that is. Spooky animation. But let's start with greetings. Hello, my name is Daniel. I'll be your host. Your
guy in the chair.
And today for spooky animation is the Dream Horror Story. So let's check it out. Enjoy. So enjoy.
I was being chased by creatures in an unfamiliar town with no one around. I screamed for help, but when they heard my voice, even more monsters came barreling out at me. Each of the monsters had a terrible appearance, but one in particular, a monster with a huge bat-like head and a snake's tongue, rushed me and bit my leg with its huge icicle-like teeth. I screamed in terrible pain and hit its head like crazy. Then it screamed and pushed me. I fell backward and hit my head. It was at that moment that I woke up. It was 4 a.m. It's already been 2 weeks since the nightmares about those monsters started. My hand where I hit the monster in my dream was tingling. I stood up and fiddled with my hands, but my legs suddenly hurt and I fell to the floor. When I looked at my legs, they had turned black. That was where I had been bitten in my dream.
Holy crap, did I really just get bitten?
My leg hurt so much that I ended up going to the hospital, and the doctor looked at my leg, tilted his head quizzically, and said,
"Your leg is rotting. Have you ever been stabbed by a rusty nail?"
I said in surprise.
"I've been bitten, but I don't know if they were rusty." "What? You got bitten?"
I immediately realized it was a dream and covered my mouth. It was so vivid.
Actually nothing happened.
Then the doctor looked at me strangely and said,
"We need to get you into surgery right away. Make sure you don't get bitten again."
Afterward, the doctor said the surgery went well and wished me good luck. As I left the hospital, I looked at the darkening sky.
I hope those ugly guys don't show up again tonight.
I took a hammer out of the storage room and slept with it next to my bed. Then I was dreaming again. I was standing in a deserted village, and there was a hammer next to me. After a while, the monsters came running, and I picked up the hammer and hit them hard. It felt like I had been fighting with them for 10 hours straight. And when I woke up from my dream, my blanket was all soaked with sweat. And the hand that had been holding the hammer was bruised and scuffed. This dream continued to haunt me day after day, and I became exhausted. I felt like I needed to do something, but I didn't know what. Then a few days later, I went to the doctor to check on the surgery site and heard some shocking news. He said that the number of patients visiting hospitals with rotting skin had spiked. He said it was really strange and kept shaking his head. I met some of the other patients, and at first, they just stared out the window blankly without saying anything. When I brought up the dream, everyone was shocked and said that they had been bitten by monsters in their dreams too. I was stunned, and one of them said that if you killed the monsters, their numbers would decrease. After hearing that, I decided to kill all of the monsters. Every night, my battle continued. I smashed the heads of dozens of monsters and kept count. Every night, I danced to the sounds of the monsters' footsteps, sang to their groans, and cheered to their cries. I was becoming a monster. Eventually, the numbers of monsters began to decrease little by little, and the monsters, which used to fill the village, were down to about 3 or 4. We patients gathered together regularly and shared our dreams every day. A few weeks later, I went to a meeting and heard some appalling news. One of the members, Jeremy, had died the previous night. He died suddenly in his sleep. But the strange part was that his head had been burned black, and there were no signs of anyone else in the house. Everyone was taken aback. That night, I saw a huge monster in my dream. He was enormous, perhaps 10 feet tall, had only one arm, and hot smoke poured from his hand. He reached out his massive hand and tried to grab my head, and the intense heat made it impossible for me to breathe. I dodged out of the way and hit his arm with my hammer, but his arm was as strong as a telephone pole. He kept trying to grab my head, but I kept dodging and striking out at his arm with the hammer until his arm broke with a loud bang. Smoke filled my face. At that moment, I woke up coughing. Fortunately, I'd broken the monster's arm. But he wasn't dead yet. I knew he would come for me again. A few days later, the same monster was running towards me with its mouth gaping and spouting hot smoke. And I hit the monster's head with my hammer as hard as I could. Its head finally cracked, and hot liquid spewed out from inside. As the liquid splashed onto my forearm, I felt a searing pain. Then it fell to the ground, and its eyeballs rolled out of its head. The eyeballs were like black beads, and I picked one up. At that moment, I woke up from my dream and felt something in my hand. In surprise, I looked at my hand and saw that it was holding a black bead. I stared at it blankly, and then, suddenly, smoke just started jetting out. I dropped it because it was hot, and it bubbled and burned and disappeared. From that day on, I never had those nightmares again. What exactly were those dreams? Was it all just a delusion, or did it really happen?
Hey guys, that's some Freddy Krueger stuff right there. Take out of your dreams into real life. It's crazy. But there's something about when you have dreams. I still don't know. I'm sure they're searching and scientists, whatnot. But everybody, be cautious of your dreams. Sometimes you never know what's gonna happen. But still, if you like what you saw, you want to see more of this, hey, like it, comment down below, and then finally subscribe for more notification bell or button, I don't care, whichever you want to call it, to notify every time I post a new video and share. Bye.